function procedure, and the program goes something like this. Hopefully it is saved. Let's see. Okay, yes, this was the program. And this particular program was what we started with. And we are continuing with last class program. And this program says that we have to take the input of a person. And for that, we have taken input in this particular line. And there is one parameter, which is, which we have given over here. Now, this particular program consists of $sign in front of the name of the function. Okay, for Kripa and Suma, we have just started. Okay, Renisha also, she has just joined in. Okay, okay. Now those of you who have just joined in, okay, we are just starting, and now this program was the one which we did last time, and I had saved this program, so I just opened that particular file. And I was talking about this $sign. Now here $sign is required because what we are printing in this program is this kind of statements, that is, you cannot vote. Now suppose if somebody is eligible to vote, then this is the message that we'll be displaying, that is, you can vote. Since the program displays this kind of string function, okay, sorry, this kind of string value, that's why $sign is required, okay? Because this particular program displays a string value, that is a string output is displayed. That's why $sign is required in front of the name of the function. Now vote is the name of the function. That's why we are writing $sign. So every time when we write program using function, we have to think of a output. If the output is in number, $sign is not required. If the output is in string value, then $sign is required. So accordingly, CLS is there, input is there, then we have called the function. Now here we haven't written any message. Message is not required in this program because whatever output appears, that output is in the form of a message. That's why we are not writing any message in this program. I hope you are understanding and you are following. Now suppose if you want to write message, then you may write your program in this way also. But you just see this, okay? But let's follow this particular method, what we have just done. Now, I just want to show you if you write message, then if you want to write message, then our program will appear something like this. What we will write is print you. Now it looks a little bit silly as well, okay? If you just keep on watching, okay? You. Now we are calling the function, okay? Now let's go to the main module. Here we are with our main module. Here we are with our function procedure. Okay, as usual, vote has $sign, so we are writing $sign over here. And this function we are all checking. Now what we'll return is, we'll simply return can vote and cannot vote, okay? That's what we have to write. And if we run our program, suppose 56, you can vote, because can vote is the value that will be returned. And another one, suppose if we give 2, then cannot vote, because if you look carefully, can vote, cannot vote is being returned, and whatever is being returned, whatever is being returned, that will go to the main module and will be printed from here, from this particular location. So instead of all these things, what we have done is, we have not displayed any message, and while returning, we have returned the actual whole statement, okay? That's what we have done in this particular program. So in here, what we have done is, we have done you can vote and you cannot vote. So this is how we'll be studying. So let's follow this particular method only. So now moving forward, now let's move forward and let's start with another set of programs. And the question is this one. Now, right now, if you are engaged in writing, it's not compulsory that you start writing as well right now only, okay? Because what I've been telling you is, I will provide you all the videos that we have done in our classroom in the Google Classroom. Okay, I'll provide you the link. You can click on the link and you can watch the video. You can write in the programs. If you have not understood any program, then you can watch the whole video as well. So at that time you can write. So right now, just try to understand. And if you have not understood anything, do let me know through the chat section. Okay. I don't think I have muted everybody right now, but if you want to speak also, you can unmute yourself and you can speak. I just unmute everybody so that there won't be any disturbances, okay, while we are studying. So that's the only reason. So, okay, let's move to our next question. And this is our next question. Write a program to input a number and display whether it is odd or even. So these are the questions that we have to study, and everything will be done with sub procedure as well as function procedure. Okay. Now this program we haven't done using sub procedure. So every program that we'll be doing from now on will be done through sub procedure as well as through function procedure. So this is the question. So write a program to input a number and display whether it is odd or even. So the first, we'll be solving this particular program using sub procedure, and same program will be converted using function procedure. So declare sub, then what we'll do is, now since this program is with odd or even, I'm just writing number. Okay, let's simply write number. Now if it is through sub procedure, then $sign is not required at all. We don't need to worry about this $sign. So what we'll do is, we'll take one number as an input and that number will be stored in n. Okay, and our parameter is n right now. So now what we'll do is, we'll take one number as an input, enter any number. So a number will be taken as an input. So here we have n. Now what we'll do is, after we take one number as an input, we have to call the function procedure, call the sub procedure. So in order to call the sub procedure, we will be calling through call keyword. So we'll write call, then we'll write down the name of the sub procedure, number, then end. Okay. So this is how we do program using sub procedure. Declare sub number, enter any number, then call number n. Okay. Now after this, what we'll do is, we will write down the definition of the sub procedure. And for definition, what we'll do is, we'll start with sub, then we do with number, then we write n. Now what we have to do is, we have to check the number whether it is odd or even, and our number is stored in n. So if n, now in order to check whether the number is odd or even, what we do is, we divide the number by 2, and if the remainder is 0, then the number is even, and if the remainder is 1, then the number is odd. So if n mod 2 is equal to 0, then, so if this condition, if this condition is true, then what we do is, we display the number is even. If the condition is false, then we display the number is odd. Now we end the sub procedure. So this is what we do. Now let's look at the program one more time. N stores the value that the user has typed. Now if we divide n by 2 and check the remainder, if it is 0, then we know that the number is even. And if it is not 0, then this condition will be false. Then it will go to the false part, which is below else, and it will display the number is odd. So, okay, this is how the program will execute, and let's run. Suppose 7, it is an odd number. So 7 when divided by 2 will give us 1, and 1 equal to 0 is false. So it will go to the false part and print the number is odd. And if we give any even number like 80, Okay, 8 also. It is a even number. The number is even. So this is our program. Now let's move towards another program. I hope there is no confusion so far. If you have anything, you may write in the chat section. Okay. So, okay, let me delete this first of all. Okay, it's not time to go into the next program because we have to convert this program using function procedure as well. So we write down function procedure. Now, when we write this program using function procedure, then sub has to be replaced with function. Then let's keep our name of the function as it is. Now, once we write program using function, then we have to talk about this dollar sign, whether it is required or not. Now, in this particular program, let's see our output. Our output is the number is odd, the number is even. Okay, so the number is odd or the number is even, both are string values. Now, since our program is displaying a string value, and string value is the one which the program will return, therefore dollar sign is required in this particular program. Okay, so dollar sign is required, and our parameter, let's keep it same, that is n. Okay, now our input part, it is the same as it is, nothing has to be changed over here. Now, in order to call the function procedure, we use print keyword. After print, we write down the name of the function, that is number, dollar sign is required over here. Then we write down the argument, which is n. So I hope by this time nobody is confused with argument and parameter, okay, because I have explained it many times. So let's move towards our function definition, which is over here. So instead of sub, what we need to do is we need to write down function, then number, then dollar sign is required. Then we need to check the condition. If any number when divided by 2 gives 0, then we know that the number is even. Since the number is even, what we have to do is we have to return that particular value. And in order to return the value, what we do is, this is the value that has to be returned, and the value we can see is clearly a string value. So for that, what we do is first we write down the name of the function. So number dollar is equals to the number is even. Now the next. Now if this condition is false, then our control will go to the false part, and in our false part, what we have to return is, we have to return that the number is odd. And in order to return, first write down the name of the function, number dollar, and the value, which is the number is odd. And whatever value we have returned, that will go to the main module and will get printed from this particular location. So let me quickly save this program. Okay, I'll open it over here. Okay, so from here, our function is being called. Once the function is called from this particular location, our control will go to the definition of the function. And from here, whatever is the value that is being returned, will again go to the main module. Okay, will come to this particular part and gets printed through this print keyword. So let's run our program. Enter any number. 7, the number is odd. Suppose if it is 90, the number is even. So this is our program. And in our exam, program may be asked through subprocedure, or it may be asked through function procedure. So in whatever way it is asked, what we should do is we should be able to write our answer. So that's basically it. Okay. So, okay, now after this, we will move towards another set of programs, and this particular program we will be dealing with number as well. So write a program to input a number. So let me expand this a little bit. Okay, write a program to input a number and display whether it is positive, negative, or 0. And this particular program also we have to do using subprocedure as well as function procedure. So over here, function procedure is already ready. So first of all, I'll do with function procedure, And after doing with function procedure, then I'll write down the program using subprocedure. Okay, so using function procedure, let's replace function with sub. Now over here also I'm not doing any changes in the name of the subprocedure. I'm just leaving it as it is. Now dollar sign is not required because with subprocedure we don't write dollar sign. So we don't need to worry about dollar sign when we are writing program through subprocedure. But we need one number as an input. So for that we have written n over here, which is our formal parameter, and we have CLS. Input is already done. Now what we have to do is we have to call our subprocedure, and for that we write call number, our subprocedure, dollar sign not required, n as it is. Okay, now after this what we'll do is we'll go towards our definition. So press F2. Here is our definition. Replace function with sub, dollar sign, remove it. Now over here, now this program is about positive, negative, or zero. Now in order to find out any number, whether it is positive or negative or zero, what we do is we have to check the number. And how do we check? We check condition. Okay, we check condition with zero. If any number is greater than zero, then we say that the number is positive. If any number is less than zero, then we say it is negative. And if it is equals to zero, then we say that it is zero. So basically it is quite simple enough. So let's check our condition. So our required number is in n. So let's check it. So if this number is greater than zero, then what we do is we display a message. And the message that we display is the number is positive. Okay, the number is positive, because if this condition is true, then it will go to its true part, which is just below it. And here we are displaying the number is positive. Now, if this condition is false, then what we have to do is we have to check another condition. Please be careful. Okay, please be careful. If you have not understood, please try to understand that in this particular program, we have to check more than one condition. And if we have to check more than one condition, then we use if else. Okay, if else is a statement which allows us to check multiple conditions. So if, and what we do is we have to check another condition. First condition we check with if, and another condition we check with else if. So write else if. Now start writing your condition, and our condition is n less than 0. For positive we have already checked over here. Now we are checking for negative. Now if you feel like checking for 0 also, no problem, you can check for 0 as well. It doesn't have to be in the sequence that I'm doing right now. You can follow your own sequence as well. Okay, so but then is required, so we have written then. Now if this condition is true, then what we have to display is we have to display the number is negative. So write down negative, and then write else. Now this else is if both the conditions are false. If this is also false and if this is also false, then our control will go to the false part, and false part is below else. So here what we'll write is the number is 0. Okay, let me make this also small. Let me follow the same case. And here we write down end sub, end if, because if has to be closed, and to close we write end if. So let's see over here. If the number is greater than 0, then this condition will be true. It will display the number is positive. If this condition is true, then we know that the number is less than 0. In this case, it will go to its true part, which is below else if, and it is this statement that will get executed, which is the number is negative. If both the conditions are false, if this is also false and if this condition is also false, then it will go to its false part, and false part is below else part, which is this particular statement. And in this particular statement, it will display the number is 0. So let's run our program and let's check. So the value, let's say user types -7, the number is negative. Suppose user types 7, which is a positive number, the number is positive. And if user types, Okay, let me write down the whole statement again. Okay. Undo is not working right now, so let me write down the number is 0. Printf the number is 0. Okay, let's we have already checked this, no? Okay. So I just forgot what I was about to do, okay, because it just got delayed. Okay, I think we were checking for 0. The number is 0. Okay. So this is basically a program with subprocedure. Now the same program we will do using function procedure. Okay, actually I should have written subprocedure over here, but okay, no problem. Okay, let's do using function procedure. Write function. Now comes $sign. So in this particular program, again, you just remember the output. The output right now that we just saw was the number is 0. The number is positive. The number is negative. That is the output that has to be, that we just saw. So whatever we saw as an output was a string value. And that is the value that we will be returning through this particular program. So what we have to do is we have to write $sign, because this particular program returns a string value. And the string value is in the form, the number is positive, the number is negative, the number is 0. That is the output that we'll be displaying. And whatever output we display is a string value. So for that reason, $sign is required. So CLS is as usual, it's there. We have to input a number, it is also there. Now what we have to do is we have to display. So in order to display, what we'll do is we will call the function procedure with print keyword, and we write down $sign in front of the function name. Now here message is also not required, because whatever the function returns is itself a message itself. So the message is not required over here. So press F2, and here is our definition part, which starts with function, $sign required, and everything is the same except we have to return a value. Okay, condition checking, it's the same. If the number is greater than 0, then we have to return the number is positive. Okay, this is the string value. So let's return it. And to return, we write down the name of the function, which is number, and write down the $sign as well. Same over here. If this condition is true, then this message we have to display. So for that, what we'll do is we have to return. So write number is equals to number is negative, else write number the number is 0. So let's run our program and just check the answer. So -9, -9, positive, 0, the number is 0. So okay, if there is any condition, let me know right now. Okay, before moving ahead, if there is anything you would like to ask, if there is anything if you have anything regarding this particular program, you may write me through the chat section. Okay. So okay, now the chat section is almost empty. There are no messages, so I guess I can move ahead. So let's move into another set of programs, and this is our program. So write a program to input a number and display the corresponding day. Quite simple program. Okay. Okay, now this particular program right now, what we are doing is the practice for if, else, if, else. Okay, it is the practice for if, else, if, else. So okay, now okay, our function procedure is already ready. So we'll first do with function procedure. So declare function day. Let's write down our function name as day. Now $sign, is it required or not? So this is the question to everybody. Everybody who has joined in, okay. If you could just write me few answers through the chat section, I would be very much happy. Your answer may be correct, your answer may be incorrect. You can just write your own opinion in your chat section. So, okay, I'm just checking my chat section. So, okay, so far there are no answers right now. You can write in yes or no. Dollar sign, whether it is required or not. Yes or no. That's the only thing that you have to write. And the time, let's check the time. Okay, it is, we have around 10 minutes now. Okay, okay, your answer, yes or no. What do you say about this particular program? Is dollar sign required or not? Now, since we are writing program using function procedure, we have to talk about dollar sign. So is dollar sign required or not? Yes, I have returned few answers and the answers are correct. Okay, Kripa has sent in her answer and she says yes, and yes is the answer. So I'm writing dollar sign over here. Because in this particular program, what will display is, it says display the corresponding day, and the day is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's what we will be displaying. And whatever we are trying to display is a string value. And for that particular reason, dollar sign is required. Okay, very good. Those of you who have said yes, very good. And those of you who have a thought of yes and didn't reply in chat also, very good. And those of you who were thinking of no, please try to understand. Okay. So, okay, we will take one number as an input. So n is over there. Now here what we'll display is, we'll display, okay, we are calling a function and this is the argument that we'll be passing. Now let's move towards our definition part. So let's change this function name quickly, day dollar. Now from here we have to start checking the conditions. So if n is equals to 1, because if it is first day, then what we have to display is, we have to display day dollar, day dollar. Now we'll not just display Sunday, Monday, we'll write a complete sentence. It is Sunday. Okay, that's how. Now if you can see clearly that the value that we are trying to display is a string value. So because of that reason, dollar sign is appearing over here with the name of the function. Okay, now let me copy and paste this. So if, okay, where else if n is equals to 2, if user types 2, then what we have to display is, we have to display it is Monday, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 also. Okay, if it is 3, then it is Sunday, Monday, it is Tuesday, TUES, Tuesday. If it is 4, then it is Wednesday. Then it is, if it is 5, it is Thursday. If it is 6, then it is Friday. Okay, let me make this Friday. And if it is 6, okay, let me edit this. If it is 6, no, 7, then it is Saturday. Okay, else is missing in all of these. So let me just quickly add else, ELSE. I forgot to copy this else part. Okay, now we are left with else part, that is our false part. So what we'll do over here is, if user types some random value like 100, 8, 9, because we don't have any days for 8, 9. We just have days only from 1 to 7. So if he types any number apart from 1 to 7, then we'll display a message, which is, we'll display a message stating that the number is invalid, or you can simply write invalid number, anything. Okay, so let's quickly check our answer. So 7, it is Saturday. Suppose user types 4, then it will display Wednesday. Now let's give one random value. Okay, 1 to 4, then it will display the number is invalid. So this is how our function procedure works. Same program we will be solving using subprocedure. It won't take much time, so let's quickly finish this as well using subprocedure. So declare sub. So what we have to do is we have to remove this dollar sign, because with subprocedure dollar sign is not required at all. So input is required, so input is already there. Now instead of print we will write call keyword. Call, dollar is not required, remove it. Now let's move towards our definition part. Here is our definition. So let's write sub, remove this dollar sign. Now instead of returning a value, what we'll do is we'll simply print. So write print, it is Sunday. Now here also we have to print. So wherever we have returned a value, at that particular place, what we have to do is we have to display. This is the difference between function procedure and sub procedure. I hope you all are feeling comfortable now with sub procedure and function procedure. So let's run our program. Let's check our output. So let's give 1, Sunday. Okay, let's give 6. This is Friday. And let's give a random value. It is invalid. So this ends our program. Okay. Call average, and average 3 arguments we have to send, and the arguments are A, B, C, and end, which marks the end of our main module. Okay, let me admit Ayush as well. Okay, we have taken 3 numbers as an input, and for that we have written the main module. Now what we'll do is we'll write down the definition. So for definition, what we'll do is okay, so far it has not been created. Now let's create the definition. Sub procedure, that is sub average, average, average. Now 3 parameters, A, B, C. Okay, and for those of you who have just joined in, well, this is the program that we are doing. Very important program for ACE. Very important program for ACE. 3 numbers take it input and display the average. Okay, so far we have only written the main module. Now what we need to do is we need to write down the definition. So here is the definition part. So for definition, what I'll do is average, AV is equals to, we have to add all the 3 numbers. So add A plus B plus C. Then what we have to do is we have to divide by 3. So basically this is the formula that we use to evaluate average. Now, if you look at this formula carefully, it looks all right. It looks perfect. Okay. But the problem is, if you write like this, then what will happen is C will be divided by 3, and whatever is the result, that will be added with A plus B, and which is not our requirement. Our requirement is we have to first add A plus B plus C. First of all, we have to take the sum of A plus B plus C, and whatever is the sum, that has to be divided by 3. So this is what we have to do. Okay. Now, so we have to use this parenthesis as well. These brackets are required. Now after this, let's move towards our program, and printing is required. So let's print the average is. So the average is AV. So this is the program. So what will happen? Whatever numbers user gives, that will be stored in ABC, and ABC gets added, divided by 3, and whatever is the result, that result will be stored in AV, and that's what is being printed from this particular statement. So let's run our program. Let's give 3 numbers, that is 4, 5, and 6, and the average has to be 5. So the average is 5. So our program is correct, and I hope there is no confusion so far. Now this is similar to the formula program. Okay, I have got one message, and according to the message, I'm going to go to the main module. Here is our main module. Now, I don't think there is any problem so far. Okay, just hold on. Okay, I'm just waiting for the answer. I'm just waiting for the response. Ayush, can you respond with yes or no? So far, what we have done is we have declared a sub-procedure. We need 3 numbers. So 3 parameters are here, ABC, to store 3 numbers. CLS, as usual, 3 input for 3 numbers. And whatever input user gives, that will be stored in A, B, and C variables. And these are known as arguments, and those arguments are being sent from here. And average is the name of the sub-procedure, and we are calling through call keyword. I guess there is no problem so far. Okay, now the same program can declare part. Okay, just hold on. Okay, Ayush, you can speak. Ayush, bhana.
त्यो डिक्लेयर सब एभरेजको तीनटा छ नि ए बी सी
यो फरक राखे पनि हुन्छ कि हुँदैन भनेको हो
कल एभरेजको पार्टमा के
कल एभरेजको पार्टमा भन अब यस्तो
डिफरेन्ट राख्न मिल्छ जस्तै एक्स वाइ
डिफरेन्ट राख्न मिल्छ
जेड
एकदम मिल्छ ल म चाहिँ अहिले चेन्ज गरिहाल्छु है डिफरेन्ट राख्न मिल्छ ए बीबी सीसी डिफरेन्ट भयो नि है
हजुर
डिफरेन्ट भयो अब हामीले कल गर्दाखेरि अरे ओहो ओके फाइन डिफरेन्ट राखेपछि अब हाम्रो भ्यालुहरु केमा स्टोर हुने भयो त भन्दाखेरि ए बीबी सीसी मा स्टोर छ युजरले दिएको इनपुट त यिनीहरुमा स्टोर हुने भयो ए मा बीबी मा स्टोर हुने भयो नि हो अब हाम्रो आर्गुमेन्ट के हुने भयो त ए बीबी र सीसी चाहिँ हाम्रो आर्गुमेन्ट हुने भयो अब हामीले पास गर्दा एबीसी लाई पास गर्न मिलेन अब मानिलियौ यसरी प्रोग्राम लेख्यो भने के हुन्छ हेरौं है त रन त हुन्छ यो अब 3 4 5 दियो अब यो 3 4 5 भनेको ए बीबी र सीसी मा स्टोर भइरहेको अब हाम्रो एभरेज हेरौं के आउँछ त 0 आउँछ मिल्दैन किन त भन्दाखेरि हामीले पास गरेको एबीसी हो एबीसी मा के छ केही पनि छैन खाली छ अब खाली चीजहरु गएपछि खाली नै आउटपुट आउने भयो 0 नै आउने भयो त्यसैले हामीले पास के गर्नु पर्यो ए बीबी र सीसी लाई पास गर्नु पर्यो अब ए बीबी सीसी मा चाहिँ युजरले दिएको भ्यालुहरु स्टोर छ अब यहाँबाट चाहिँ कहाँ जान्छ त भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो डेफिनेसनमा जान्छ एकछिन म यसलाई सेभ गरिहाल्छु यसरी हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिकति क्लियर देखिन्छ यहाँबाट ओपन ल अब यहाँबाट हेरौं है त अब हाम्रो यो एभरेज भित्र चाहिँ गयो यसलाई अलिकति एक्सप्यान्ड पनि गर्छु म त्यो थर्ड मा के हो सर भन्ने आको छ तर यो चाहिँ अलि क्वेशन अलि मौसमको क्वेशन चाहिँ अलिकति मैले बुझिन पखै मौसम म एकैछिनमा आइहाल्छु ओके आयुष Ayush, are you still there, Ayush?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ayush. तिमीले सोधेको ए बीबी सीसी भनेर सोध्यौ है यहाँबाट के हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि यो पास भयो यो भ्यालुजहरु पास भयो यो भ्यालुहरु कहाँ जान्छ त एबीसी मा जान्छ अब एबीसी मा गइसकेपछि एबीसी मा के हुन्छ त मानिलियौ 3 4 5 दिएको छ भने एबीसी मा 3 4 5 स्टोर हुन्छ 3 4 5 को सम भयो एन्ड डिवाइड बाइ 3 भ्यालु एबी मा स्टोर हुन्छ प्रिन्ट हुन्छ Am I clear now? ठीक छ
भन्नाले ए बी बी सी सी लेख्दा यो एबीसी गिरा नि गर्नुहुन्छ सब एभरेज
अब जस्तै हेर है त तिमीले के भन्दै छौ त भन्दाखेरि यहाँ निर ए यहाँ बी यहाँ सी अहिले क्लियर छ नि है देखिराछौ नि एबीसी यहाँ ए यहाँ बी यहाँ सी लेख्यो भने भ्यालु केमा स्टोर हुन्छ त एबीसी मा स्टोर हुन्छ त्यति बेला चाहिँ हामीले ए बी र सी लाई चाहिँ पास गर्नुपर्छ अब मानिलियौ तिमीले भेरिएबल ए बीबी सीसी यसरी लेख्यो अब हैन म ए बीबी सीसी हैन म एक्स वाइ जेड लेख्छु रे मानिलियौ यसरी लेख्यो रे एक्स वाइ जेड यसरी लेख्यो अब के पास गर्नु पर्ला तिमीले भन त आन्सर के पास गर्नु पर्यो यहाँ निर कल गर्दाखेरि
जुन मास्टर गरेको त्यही दिनु पर्यो
अब यो पर्टिकुलर केसमा के होला त
एक्स वाइ एन्ड जेड
एक्ज्याक्टली एक्स वाइ र जेड यसरी चाहिँ हामीले गर्नुपर्छ हामीले जे भेरिएबलमा स्टोर गर्यो नि त्यही भेरिएबलको थ्रुबाट चाहिँ पास गर्नुपर्छ र जे हामी पास गर्छौं नि अहिले यो पास गरिरहेको XYZ यो चाहिँ हाम्रो के हो त आर्गुमेन्ट हो दिस इज आर्गुमेन्ट आर्गुमेन्ट इज अल्सो नोन एज रियल प्यारामिटर अर फर्मल प्यारामिटर्स अब अर्को कुरा है त अब यो एबीसी भन्ने यहाँ
डिक्लेयरको पार्टमा चाहिँ जुन लेख्दा नि हुन्छ
यहाँ डिक्लेयरकोमा यहाँ माथि
हजुर
हुन्छ यहाँनिर हेर है त फेरि एकचोटि फेरि क्लियर हो है त फेरि यहाँनिर मानिलियो यहाँनिर मैले के लेखेँ त भन्दाखेरि ए बीबी र सीसी लेखेँ अब तिमीले हेर्न सक्छौ यहाँनिरको यो प्यारामिटर र यो प्यारामिटर फरक छ यहाँनिर चाहिँ एबीसी छ यहाँनिर चाहिँ ए बीबी सीसी छ अब प्रोग्राम चल्ला कि नचल्ला के भन्छौ तिमी यस कि नो चल्दैन भन्यौ एकचोटि रन गरेर हेर्छौ है त हेरौँ है त अब हेर है त यहाँनिर प्रोग्राम चल्छ कि चल्दैन अब 3 4 5 प्रोग्राम चलिरहेछ कि छैन त प्रोग्राम चलिरहेछ किन प्रोग्राम चलिरहेछ त भन्दाखेरि किन चलिरहेछ भन्दाखेरि हामीले XYZ यहाँबाट पास गर्यो यो XYZ गएर कहाँ जान्छ त एबीसी मा जान्छ कि यहाँनिर हामीले यो प्यारामिटर र यो प्यारामिटर फरक गरे पनि केही प्रब्लम हुँदैन किन त भन्दाखेरि यो डिक्लेयरको पार्ट भनेको अप्सनल पार्ट हो यो मैले पहिला पनि भनेको थिएँ डिक्लेयर तिमी लेख अथवा नलेख प्रोग्राममा हाम्रो प्रोग्राम चल्छ त्यसैले डिक्लेयरमा जे प्यारामिटर लेख्यो त्यही प्यारामिटर हामीले डेफिनिसनमा लेख्नुपर्छ भन्ने जरुरत छैन ठीक छ जरुरत छैन यो प्रोग्राममा के भइरहेको XYZ यहाँबाट पास हुन्छ यो भ्यालु चाहिँ एबीसी मा स्टोर हुन्छ योसँग यो एबीसी सँग केही रिलेटै छैन यो ए बीबी सँग केही रिलेटै छैन यो ए बीबी हामी किन लेखिरहेछौँ त हाम्रो एससी करिकुलममा चाहिँ प्राय यसरी लेख्ने गरिन्छ त्यही भएर चाहिँ हामीले लेखिरहेको बस त्यति ठीक छ
ए सर त्यही कन्फ्युजन भयो थ्यांक यू
अब सजिलोको लागि चाहिँ ठीक छ अर्को एउटा कुरा फेरि छ यसमा जोड्नु पर्ने सजिलोको लागि चाहिँ हामी सेम लेख्छौं कि यहाँ पनि एबीसी लेख्छौं अनि यहाँ पनि एबीसी लेख्छौं त्यति हो कुरा चाहिँ ए बी र सी लेख्छौं अब यसमा चाहिँ अब एबीसी लेख्यो भने यहाँ पनि के लेख्नु पर्यो ए बी र सी लेख्नु पर्यो ठीक छ यसरी चाहिँ हामी प्रोग्राम हामी जति पनि प्रोग्राम चाहिँ हामीले यसरी नै गरिरहेछौं र यही चीज चाहिँ हामी फलो गर्छौं किनकि यसरी चाहिँ अलिकति सजिलो हुन्छ बुझ्नलाई okay being said all that now we have already solved our program using subprocedure and please don't get confused with different parameters okay over here and over here it doesn't make any difference whatever parameter you write over here this whatever parameters you write in this particular part doesn't make any difference in this okay you can choose different parameters over here and here also you can choose different parameters it doesn't make any difference the main difference that it makes is what you return okay while calling so while calling what you have to pass is you have to pass the values or the variable names or the arguments where you have stored the values here abc are the variables where we have stored the values that are being given from the user and those variables we have to pass from here if you write XYZ to store the values, you write XYZ over here. If you write any other variables, then write down the same variables over here. For ease, we are writing ABC everywhere, okay? This makes program a little bit easier to be understood. So that's why we are writing using ABC. Okay, now it's turn to write down our program using function procedure. So let's write down our program through function procedure. So sub we have already completed. Now we will write through function. And those of you who have confusion, write me through the chat section. Okay, now I will unmute. Where is Mosam now? Okay, Mosam, I'm unmuting you. So Mosam, you had
sir.
Yes, Pana.
You enter thought first number one any.
ए यो मेसेज हो यो अलिकति यो फर्स्ट डिलिट गर्न बिर्सेको मात्र हो मौसम यति हो ठीक भयो यही हो यो यसमा कन्फ्युज हुनु पर्दैन यो मेसेज मात्र थियो एन्टर फर्स्ट नम्बर एन्टर सेकेन्ड नम्बर एन्टर थर्ड नम्बर त्यो मैले कपी पेस्ट गरेको थिएँ त्यसमा मैले फर्स्ट चाहिँ डिलिट गर्न बिर्सेछु है त्यति मात्रै हो ओके सो लेट्स गो टुवर्ड्स द फंक्शन डेफिनेसन नाउ yes now not function definition but let's solve using function okay now whenever we write a program using function we have to talk about one symbol and the symbol is $sign okay over here we have to write down $sign so $, is it required or not? That's what let's discuss about that one. Okay, in this particular program, what we are doing is we are displaying average, and average is simply a number. Since average is simply a number that we are trying to evaluate and that we are trying to display, so what we are trying to display, we are trying to display average, and average is a number, and this average is what we will be returning from our program. So this particular function, what we are about to make, will return average, which is a numeric value. Since this program returns a numeric value, we do not have to write $. I hope there is no confusion in this particular thing. So if you have anything, then you can write me in the chat section, okay, and I will unmute you and we can discuss. Okay, so far I don't think there is problem in this one because it's quite simple. In this program is quite similar to this formula programs like average, not average, area, volume, and all sorts of programs we have already done. So it's quite similar to it. And in those programs also we didn't write $, and in here also $, is not required. So what is required is the 3 inputs. So 3 inputs are already over here. Now what we need to do is we need to call. So in order to call, we require print keyword. Okay, print is the keyword that we'll use. Okay, that we use to call the function procedure. Now there comes the message part. Now, is message required or not in this program? Now let's discuss about that one. Message is required because this program will only return average, which is a numeric value. Only one number will be returned, and that number is average. So message has not been returned. So what we have to do is we have to write down the message. So let's write down the average is, and we have called the function procedure average ABC. Now let's go towards our definition part. Here is our definition part. So let me extend this. Okay, so let's write function average ABC. Okay, the average has been evaluated, and print the averages. Now this is not what we do with function. What we have to do is we have to return the value, and in order to return the value, what we do is we write down the function name and we write down the value which is in AV. So whatever value is returned from here will go to the main module and will get printed from here, this particular line. So okay, now let's run our program and let's check our answer. So 3, 4, 5, our answer has to be 4. 3, okay, 4 and 5. So the answer is 5. The average is 4. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 3 4s are 12. So answer is 4. So this is our program through the function procedure. Now we will move towards another set of programs, and we will move towards if programs now. Almost formula programs we have already done, conversion we have already done. This particular program was remaining, which we have completed now. And in exam, okay, it might ask input for 2 numbers, for 4 numbers. That's how the question is asked. If it is for 2 numbers, then what we do is we divide by 2. If it is with 2 numbers, if it is with 4 numbers, then we divide by 4. That is the only difference. Okay, so let's go to our main module and let's write down our new question. Okay, Rima, I didn't use $sign in this program because here what is being returned is a numeric value. Okay, a numeric value will be returned from this program. You can see over here, from here, average is equals to AW, and AW is a numeric value. Here A plus B plus C will be added, will be divided by 3, and whatever is the value that will be stored in AV. So AV holds a numeric value, and from here we are returning AV, which is a numeric value. For that reason, we are not using $sign over here. Am I clear enough now? Rima, you can respond me with yes or no in the chat section. If I have clarified your doubts, you can write yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, now we move towards another program. Okay, now this program is the divisibility program. Now you will know this program when I write the question. Write a program to input a number and display whether it is divisible by 13 or not. Okay, this is the divisibility program. So at first we have this function procedure ready. So we will write our program with function procedure. So with function procedure, declare function. So let's simply write number as our function name. Then we have to take one number as an input. For that, I'm using parameter a. Now let's talk about this dollar sign. Is dollar sign required or not over here? So in this particular program, if you look at the question, it clearly says that we have to display whether it is divisible by 13 or not. So what we will be displaying is we will be displaying it is divisible by 13, or we will display it is not divisible by 13. And in either of the case, what we will be doing is we will be displaying a string value. It is divisible by 13 is also a string value. It is not divisible by 13 is also a string value. Hence, string value is the one we have to display, and that's what we will be returning. So our program returns a string value. Therefore, dollar sign is required in this particular program. I guess I have made myself clear. So moving forward, what we have to do is we have to take one number as an input, which we have already done. Enter first number A. Now, what we have to do is we have to call the function procedure, and our function name is number, and dollar sign is also required. And we just need only one argument, so we will be returning A. Okay, so let's complete this program. Okay, here message is also not required, because if you look at our output, this kind of output will be displayed. It is divisible by 13, it is not divisible by 13, which itself is a message. So message is not required over here. So that's why I'm not writing any message over here. So let's move towards our definition part, and here is our definition. Function number, and let's write down dollar sign. So now what we have to do is we have to first of all edit our parameters. We just need only one parameter A. Now we have to check whether the value stored in A is divisible by or not. Okay, so let's check for A. If A, we have to divide by 13, and if any number divided by 13 becomes 0, then we know that it is divisible by 13. So divisibility is done through mode, because we need to check for the remainder, and for remainder we use mode operator. Now this we have seen in odd and even program as well. So if A mod 13 equal to 0, if this condition is true, then what we have to do is we have to display it is divisible by 13. And the displaying part, we don't use print over here because it is function, and we have to return a value through number. We first write down the name of the function, then we return the value. Then the value is it is divisible by 13. This is what we have to display. Now if this condition is false, if any number is divided by 13 is not equal to 0, then condition will be false and it will go to the false part. Okay, it will go to the false part. What is this? Here it should be number dollar is equals to it is divisible by 13. So this is the message that we are returning right now. Okay, and this message is a string value, that's why dollar sign is over here. Else, okay, let me quickly copy this. So it is now, if this condition is false, it will go to the false part, and this is our false part, and here we have to return it is not divisible by 30. So and if, so let's run our program quickly. Let's say 26, it is divisible by 13. Let's say 20, not divisible by 30. So this is our program with function. I guess there isn't any problem so far. Now what we'll do is quickly we'll solve this program using subprocedure as well. Okay, using sub. Okay, let's modify function with sub. With subprocedure, you don't need to worry about this dollar sign. Dollar sign is not required at all. So let's call our subprocedure with call keyword, dollar sign. Let's remove it. Now let's go towards our definition part. So here is our definition. Let's replace the function with sub, dollar sign. Let's remove it. Now here, if this condition is true, then we have to print. Now with subprocedure, we print inside the definition part. So we don't have to return anything. What we'll do is we will print. So print here also, this return part will be replaced with displaying. That is, we have to add print. So this is all we need to do with subprocedure. Let's run our program one more time. Same values, 26. It is divisible. 20, not divisible. So this is our program with sub. So the question is, write a program to input an alphabet and display whether it is vowel or consonant. And as far as I guess, I think we have covered this one also before starting modular programming. But anyway, let's solve it. And the first thing that we'll be doing is using subprocedure. So let's write alphabet over here, alphabet, dollar sign, not required at all because our programming is with subprocedure. Now what we need is, we need one alphabet as an input. Now be careful over here, okay? Alphabet is A, B, C, D, whatever the user types, and whatever user types, it is a string value. Alphabets are string values. So to store string values, what we need is, we need a string variable. So our parameter is going to be a string variable. So I'm using string variable as AL dollar, okay? So AL is the name of the variable and it is a string variable because our input is a string value. Okay, now we need to input one alphabet, enter any alphabet, and let's give variable AL dollar, and we don't need this message. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to call. Okay, call is also ready. Now alphabet and AL dollar. Okay, so let's delete this also. So this is our main module. So now what we'll do is we'll go to the definition part, which is sub alphabet AL dollar. So this is our subprocedure definition. So average is not required. Let me just delete it. Okay. Now according to our English vocabulary, there are 5 vowels. Okay, A, E, I, O, U. So what we have to do is we have to check whether the value that is stored in AL is vowel or consonant. So for that, what we have to do is we have to check 5 conditions, and the conditions are: if AL dollar is equals to A. If this is the case, then it is a vowel. Okay. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Okay. In any of the case, we know that if any one of the condition is true, then we know that the value that is stored in AL dollar is a vowel. So there are 5 conditions, and what we are doing is we are writing 5 conditions in one statement. Okay, so in such kind of scenario, what we have to do is we have to combine the conditions. And in order to combine the conditions, what we have studied is we have studied logical operators. And in logical operators, there were three operators. One was not, or, and. Now, not we will discuss in file handling, and this or and operator we have done frequently. So or and all these operators are used to combine these kind of conditions. And here we have to use or, because or is an operator which combines all the conditions together and displays true value if any one of the condition is true. कुनै एउटा condition true भयो भने, यिनीहरु यो पाँचवटा मध्ये कुनै एउटा true भयो भने whole condition के हुन्छ त true हुन्छ. अब त्यो भनेको कुनै एउटा ट्रू हुनुको मतलब त्यो भावल हो. त्यसैले हामीले केले कम्बाइन गर्नु पर्यो त, orले कम्बाइन गर्नु पर्यो. So we are combining with or. I hope there is no difficulty in understanding this particular condition. And this is the condition that we will be using frequently in other programs as well. Okay. So what has happened over here? If AL dollar, okay, okay, it's because of this one. Okay, this because of this particular thing, it's showing error. Okay, now it should, okay, now it is working fine. So if this condition is true, then what we have to display is we have to display it is a vowel. And if this condition is false, then it will go to its false part, which is below else. And here we have to display it is a consonant. Now this is the end of our if, so let's mark it with end if. So basically this is the program that we have to write. Any doubt so far? Any doubt, people? If you have any doubt, please let me know through the chat section so that I can explain this in the next class as well. So what we'll do is, let's see the output first. Okay, suppose user types A, it is vowel. If user types T, it is consonant. Now see one more thing, okay, over here. If user types capital A, then what will happen? It will display, it is displaying it is a consonant, which is incorrect. Now for this, what we have to do is, it is because we are checking everything with small letters. You can see everything is in small letters. A is in small letters, E, I, everything is in small letters. So what we have to do is, whatever is the value of AL, that we have to convert it into lowercase. And for lowercase, we'll be using L case dollar, and whatever is the value stored in AL dollar. Now what will happen? Whatever is the value stored in AL dollar will be converted into small letters and will be stored in AL dollar, and it will check the condition, and accordingly it will display it is vowel or consonant. Now let's see the output one more time. Capital A, vowel. Capital U, vowel. Now suppose one condition. Okay, let's say condition, consonant. It is a consonant. Okay. So let's convert quickly to function. Let's convert this program to function procedure. Now just think of the dollar sign, whether it is required or not. Dollar sign is required because the output that we are seeing is in the form of a string value. It is a consonant or it is a vowel. In whatever way the output appears, it is a string value. So dollar sign is required. Since dollar sign is required, we have to write dollar sign everywhere. And the message is not required because whatever the function returns is a message itself. So there isn't much time left now. We are less than a minute. I'm trying to finish this program, and hopefully I will be able to finish AL, PHA, B, ET, alphabet, dollar is equals to, this is how we return. Let me copy, let me paste, or let me paste and let me run. A, vowel, Y, consonant. Okay, finally I've managed, and you can see the only change is over here. Instead of print, we have returned a value. Instead of print, we have returned a value. And L case dollar is to convert whatever value is stored in AL dollar into small letters. And again, it will same value will be stored in AL dollar. Condition checking will take place with small letters A, E, I, O, U. And according to the condition, it will print. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like my video so that I get motivated to create more of these videos. We would appreciate if you would share this video with your friends. And if you have any queries and suggestions, let me know through the comment section. Lastly, please do subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you.